Hey guys, J Games here again. This is gonna be with Luffy with Shinra, Kusakabe. Shinra's on Anime Fire Force, pretty off-putting in terms of fan service, but trust me, you get past fan service, it's really good. You can also read it, so you can get past it faster, but it's really good anime. And then Luffy finishes on One Piece, leave. Alright, so, basically, we can probably go into Luffy in canon in this one. Not in canon, but in this what if. What else? How do I phrase this? Basically, there's no Gomu no Mi. It's the Adola no Mi, and basically, Lucky Roo didn't lock the container, and Makino would basically drop a hunk of food onto the table, like a ton of it. With that, the container kind of broke open. Not broke open. It was kind of flung open, and Adola no Mi rolled into Luffy's pile of food. He's not mad at Shanks for not fighting Higuma, and understood why after your explanation. This Luffy's a bit smarter. Luffy would eat all the food that Makino gave him, which included the Adola no Mi. Shanks didn't stop Luffy from eating it as he looked over as Luffy already swallowed the whole fruit. Shanks sighed, asking Lucky Roo if the container was locked, and Lucky Roo says he thought he did as Shanks tried to lock the container himself, realizing the lock was broken. They didn't know it. So with this is Shanks to decide, not getting mad at Lucky Roo for leaving it open. Luffy what the fruit does, and that it can summon flames from one certain spot, but it's completely random. And Luffy summoned flames from his feet. And eventually everything else after this would go the exact same way as in canon. It's just Luffy's not Fredgy, he's fiery. And the difference when Higuma tries to get Luffy into the ocean, Luffy used flames and blew a hole through his chest. So yeah. Then Luffy flew in the water by accident as he used a giant burst of flames that sent him flying. Shanks swam, catching Luffy, and then Luffy King bit Shanks' arm off. So yeah. Real quick. So so Shanks ended up losing his arm, getting Luffy out of the ocean. And then, from here on, I'm going to speedrun Luffy's childhood because it's very long to explain. Just rewriting it out itself was 34 paragraphs. So I'm just going to try to compress it as much as possible. Luffy can't train in Fuchsia or the Forest of the Great Terminal. The fact that Fuchsia is too close together in a small town, so he'd destroy it, and since the place isn't as well built, a lot of it is wooden structure or bamboo structure or too flammable, he would move the forest, but forest, flames, and explosions don't go together too well. So, that's another question. In Great Terminal, pretty durable, but the houses are pretty flimsy, so the durability goes back down to basically being nothing. So yeah, so he would leave. We go forward now, something else. Something else we go to is basically just Luffy training in Goa Kingdom. So you're crying in the background. My brother, it's nap time for him, and he's pretty pissed off about that. So yeah. But it's gonna take a while to stop crying, so I can't really move on past that. Alright. We go on basically now to Luffy in the Great Terminal, and Goa Kingdom, where he snuck in, trying to find someone to train there. And he is able to train in the training grounds there, pretty fun for him. He would meet Benimaru Shinmon, and Akitaru Obi, or Obi Akitaru, I don't care what you want to say. I like Akitaru Obi more than Obi Akitaru, but then we have Takehisa Hinoma. These three happen to be former Marine Vice Admirals who trained under Garp for a bit. Benimaru's in CP0, Hinoa in CP9, and Obi was just a Vice Admiral, but he's one of the stronger ones. And they decided to train Luffy for around 4 months, till Garp actually found out where Luffy was and brought Ace and Sabo to train him with Benimaru and all them. And they said yes because it was Garp. So yeah. Now they trained Luffy, Ace and Sabo for a few decades, not for decades, for a few, 2 years or so. And this is the dragons came to visit again. As he basically gave him he saw the Great Terminal still there, and the Great Terminal fire was a fail. Blue Jam's crew started it still, but Benimaru put it out pretty easily and killed the whole crew. Luffy was helping him, of course, and he met Dragon during that time. And Benimaru mentioned that Dragon is Garp's son, and Luffy put together that this means that Dragon is his dad. But he just told Dragon that he's doing the world a favor. So yeah. So Dragon came back 2 years later, hoping the Great Terminal was gone, but it wasn't. So he ordered a buster call, but only to target the Great Terminal. But that this basically going to happen. It's been 2 years. Luffy at this point is 9 years old. He's about to turn 10. It's like May 3rd, so he's on the verge of turning 10. But Luffy can also use his flames to at least eradicate a ship at his full power. And Ace and Sabo just have really insane physical strength to the point where they can almost knock a ship in half using a double attack. Just how much strength they physically have. And when the Buster Call was about to be announced, Luffy kicked the ship in half immediately with just raw might, as he has superior physical strength and is better than his brothers. And when he kicked the ship in half, he would also use flames to blow another ship in half using that much power. So with this, Luffy's able to hold off at least half the Buster Call himself, while the other few ships are destroyed by Hinoa, Obi, and Benimaru. Ace and Sabo take care of any Marines that are on the shore. They're just too fast to catch up with, as these guys aren't even like vice admirals or anything. They're like random rear admirals who can barely use haki. But with this, well, they didn't kill. A few Marines had died, so they're going to be arrested for this. And Ace, Luffy, and Sabo are arrested. They're honestly given a fine because they've been doing this for a long time. And they're like some of the only firemen in the kingdom. They do get pretty high payment because everyone loves them, and even the king loves them. So they're able to pay the fines individually pretty easily. While Benimaru, Obi, and Hino are arrested. They're arrested because they killed Marines. They're sentenced to impel down level 6 for a few months, and they're sent to execution. So yeah. And before they die, they end up at least writing down giant these books are as thick as dictionaries. But they wrote them, and before they did their death, they gave them to Garp to give to Ace, Sabo, and Luffy. And that means there's 3 for each of the kids, but then they had to make 9 books because each kid trains in their own way. But it was a bit easier for them to write books for Luffy, as he takes what he's given. But it was a bit harder for Ace and Sabo, so yeah. But still, eventually with this, we go on now when Luffy is 14. He's 14, he's still trying to know the siblings, but he can use observation haki and a pretty good ability, as it gives him the ability to actually see and triple what a regular human can. So observation haki enhances eyesight, which allows him to actually fly farther and do a bit better. Yeah. But at least him as only fireman in the kingdom for around 3 years, and he takes Ace and Sabo's pay. So yeah. And by the time it is time for him to leave, he was able to buy a pretty run-down ship that's the size of the Sunny, but it'll get him to at least Water 7 if he finds a shipwright in the east. So yeah. If he stays around, if he doesn't find a shipwright, it'd take him to at least Alabasta, so he'll take that. But he finds, basically, he'd find the ship, he buys it, keeping a lot of the money as the ship was basically almost free. Well, at least compared to other ships, it's basically free, but yeah. But Luffy basically would sail around using the ship, finds Kobe, finds Alvida's ship. But he jumps aboard and pretty easily took out all of his whole crew just using hand-to-hand combat, but kicked Alvida so hard she was flying to the same island as in canon. I want to break down some of Luffy's abilities. So yeah, now I'm gonna be mentioning Shinra's abilities too, but I may be highballing him. I don't care. I love Shinra. I love every character in Fire Force. Mainly Din Juggernaut. I love him a lot more, but still Shinra's pretty cool. All right, Luffy's abilities. So triple is a regular eyesight. Also, he has a pretty good IQ actually. In terms of intelligence in the East Blue, he ranks in the top 5. This is how smart he is. Hinoa was already the number 1 smartest, but then he died, and that went to Ben Beckman. So yeah. Hinoa was pretty smart. He was in CP9. He was granted for CP0, but his haki wasn't really there, so he kept in CP9. But that was almost like 20 years ago. Obi and all of them were in their mid 40s, so yeah. He was in CP9 at the same time as Who's Who, but he left before Shanks attacked Who's Who. But yeah, so Luffy has pretty high intelligence. He's top 5 smartest. East Blue, not the whole series, but yeah. So top 5 smartest. His dream is more or less to free the world of those who are oppressed by the government and the celestial dragons. So the whole world. He wants to free them from the grasp of celestial dragons, which includes saving the Marines. But he knows it'd be a lot harder to do that as a Marine than being a pirate. He could be a revolutionary like Sabo, but he wants to do it in his own way, not follow his dad's ideals. So yeah. Then basically we go on to pyrokinesis now, where pyrokinesis allows him to basically move at the speed of light pretty easily actually. And this is before he even age of 14 he could already move at light speed, but that was at his max. But then if you were to count currently using pyrokinesis on a pretty average scale, he can move at light speeds pretty easily. At full power, his speed goes like 100 times faster than light. So, yeah. That's only him at 30% of his power, which is his physical limit until we go on with other powers. Physical strength. Yeah. Physical strength is like canonical Shinra level, where he can kick something out of orbit. So, kick something out of orbit into a whole new orbit or into its previous orbit. Shinra kicked the moon away. So, Yeah. Also, the Fire Force moon fucking scares me. But then again, it is also the moon from Soul Eater. So, yeah. This, for those who don't know this, Fire Force is a prequel to Soul Eater. So, yeah. If you guys want to know how Soul Reverse came to be, read Fire Force. Now watch it, read it. Alright. Alright, so basically, that's Shinra's physical strength. Then that's him using Pyrokinesis. Full ability can kick things out of orbit, including the moon. His durability. He can handle being in outer space. Also, he can actually... Well, because the Fire Force verse is a bit different. Like, we had Arthur who can breathe in... We can actually, like, survive in outer space, but it was honestly him, like, timing down or counting down how much longer he could breathe in it. Shinra can hold his breath for... Luffy can hold his breath for an infinite amount of time, allowing him to actually, stay there for actually a few hours. So, yeah. And that's just him holding his breath. His durability is insane to the point where it would take a lot of things to burn him. Also, he has basically almost 9 immunity to explosions and flames, which includes cannonballs, as he can just tank the metal. So yeah, his durability doesn't really know any bounds. He's more durable than Kaido is the best way to put it. Like, more durable than Kaido. So, yeah. So I had to pop my back real quick. Then his speed, I said that before. Some for physical strength. Hysterical strength. Actually, hold up. I have all my notes about this somewhere else. Alright, what else? Oh yeah, so besides hysterical strength, Luffy can also see triple a regular human using observation haki. Yes, he does actually have that. So before, when he was 14 years old, he unlocked it. Then he's had 3 years to train it, leading him to actually nearing advanced observation. The advanced observation would still give him the basic abilities of observation, but also would give him future sight, but on a much better scale. So, yeah. He has hand signs, giving him the ability to compress his flames, and when he releases the compression, he allows him to go faster, and also increases his kicking power. So, yeah. His fighting style, using like the basic techniques, is very similar to sword techniques, but also like the Blackleg style. He would use Iaido and Aikido in combination with just Sanji's Blackleg style, even though he doesn't even know what the Blackleg style is. So yeah. So they tend to allow them to crest and release greater bursts of flames. They also burn hotter, and they also cause explosions when released from compression. They do make him go slower if you would keep it compressed, but then releasing the compression allows him to go faster than light by thousands of times over. So, yeah. And hysterical strength. Shinra's body always operates at 30% power, same for everyone else, but if you were to unlock hysterical strength like Arthur and Shinra do, along with Benimaru and, basically Benimaru, Hibachi Shinmon, what was his name? Konoro. How did I forget his name, but I love him more than most characters. So, Benimaru, Hibachi, I forget his name already. Konoro. Benimaru, Hibachi, Konoro, Arthur, and Shinra, those are the 5 main units I can think of that can use hysterical strength, maybe even Tamaki. Those 5 use hysterical strength, and that means what we see them at constantly is 30%. But hysterical strength unlocks 100%, but Benimaru 30% is already planetary level. Yes, he is confirmed to be planetary. As people lowball him at planetary, like his doppelganger can already destroy the planet in one go. Benimaru called that thing insanely weak because he eliminated it in barely any hits. I think it took him probably maybe a little over 1 hit, like maybe 2-3 hits. But he wanted to eradicate that thing in seconds. It wasn't hard for him to do that. So he can easily eradicate planetary level foes. That's this Benimaru at 30% power. Imagine 100% Benimaru, unless there's just one form we don't know about. But yeah, but this is access from the bodies, but feels like it may die. And yeah. Hysterical strength kind of just keeps growing because your body feels like you can get closer to death each time, and it can, and it will eventually kill you if you keep letting your body get that low to the point where you may die because of exhaustion and such. But yeah, just kind of keep pushing your body limit to 100%, and if you can reach 100%, you can go beyond that if you use technicality. Basically saying that Shinra could probably reach planetary levels of power, then surpass planetary levels of power if his body can not die while also reaching the brink of it almost dying. And this allows Shinra, who him at 30% move faster than time itself. Luffy will soon be able to do that pretty easily still in East Blue, actually. He'll knock that level of speed, but he won't use that level of speed. if he moves faster than time itself, he can also rewind it on himself. It's on himself as well. So yeah, he's also pretty quick at thinking. So yeah, sorry for that long explanation, but yeah. All right, so basically, Luffy saved Kobe from Alvida's crew, told Kobe about his dream, and Kobe was inspired by his dream. So he was on Luffy's crew now. And Luffy begins basically teaching Kobe how to use Iaido. So yeah, also helping. First, Kobe has to use the workout routine that he got from Obi. So yeah. So Luffy's an insanely good marksman, by the way. I forgot to say that. He's a really good marksman. So yeah. So we go on basically to Luffy. When he gets to Shelltown, he hears about Shelltown and everything. And currently he looks like this, just like how this Shinra does in the thumbnail. But there's no Fire Force helmet or anything, or jacket, just the overalls, the pants, and the shirt. So yeah. And also the pack, this pack on his hips that comes in like medicine, small knives. Well, like one pack of medicine and everything. One pack is like just healing stuff. The pack is like small knives and such, which he would just use for like just cutting stuff. And mainly apples is what the knives are used for, but he doesn't rely on weapons unless he wants to. But he hears about the town, and the Luffy immediately snuck in pretty easily using intense speed, grabbed a rifle, then gave it over to Kobe. Then Kobe followed him to help him on Zoro. They pretty easily do so. Before Help arrived, Luffy grabbed Rika, Kobe, and Zoro and disappeared into the bar again. And the barkeeper allowed Zoro to join Luffy and Kobe to hide, and Rika gave Zoro the rice balls. He ate them immediately, and Zoro would eat his food pretty easily. So yeah. So with this, basically, we can go on a bit more forward to, We can go on probably to, just Helmpo wanting to know where Zoro is. But with them, they'll just vouch that, he found a dinghy at the shore and used it to escape. Luffy's ship is kind of just... I think it's pretty small, but it's part of the other side of it, which is barely able to be seen. He thought that would be a better thing as he recognized the marine base on it. Because he does have a Jolly Roger. He's an okay artist. So, yeah. Basically, Luffy's ship is basically out of sight at this point, or barely out of sight. You get a bit walk 100 feet past the marine base, and you'll see a ship a bit. All right, so while we can go on probably just to just everyone thinking Zoro escaped. Luffy allows Zoro to basically just recover for a bit, patching up his wounds and everything. And Zoro is basically has no scratch on him. They wash his clothes and everything. He's pretty okay. All right, so Zoro basically has washed clothes on everything. Zoro looks basically completely fine, just besides a few bandages around his arms and his chest. So yeah. And with it, Zoro kind of has clothes he has on post Dressrosa, so the button-up shirt, black pants, bandana on his waist, everything. So basically, no one can see the bandages on him besides the one on his chest. So Zoro basically was asking Luffy if they're ready to defeat the Marines. Zoro put on the headband, buttoned the shirt, and they're ready. So with this, they ran into the Marine base, and Kobe followed them a little bit. Kobe had enough physical strength, grew a bit in those few days, enough to actually hold up the rifle a little bit, but it's a bit harder for him to do so. Luffy did tell Kobe, hit the arms or the legs. And Kobe just nods. First thing they see, Kobe just actually kind of just hits him in the leg with the rifle as he ran in front of Luffy, and the guy in the knee with the rifle, and making him hit the ground. Kobe saw a cutlass instead, as he picked that up and ran ahead of them, and realized it was just some random kid. But then Zoro and Luffy appear behind Kobe, and they cut down the Marines in their way as Kobe's more like a distraction. But eventually, they pretty easily cut the Marine base with no effort, really. This eventually they do leave. They get on Luffy's ship and they set sail. Zoro joining Luffy, as Luffy convinced him earlier by saying he's not really a pirate, but to accomplish his dream, being a pirate would be easier. And Zoro did hear his dream, understood it. So Zoro thinks his dream's a lot better than becoming the strongest swordsman, but he still wants to accomplish his own dream. He'll help Luffy, though. With that, Luffy picks up his boat and just flies off straight toward Orangetown. Picking up his boat is not heavy. If you can get things out of orbit, picking up a boat is nothing. The legs are usually stronger than the arms, but that kind of depends on people. But Luffy can still pretty much almost push things out of orbit using just physical strength, also using flames to fly. So, yeah. They're in Orangetown earlier than can. They feed all the Marines at 8 p.m. They get to Orangetown at 1 a.m. So, yeah. Mostly Zoro can barely read a map, and Kobe doesn't know how. They use very vague directions. They had gotten there in 30 minutes, but big directions, like I said before. They get there, they hang out at Orangetown for a bit until they find Buggy's crew that woken up in the morning. Luffy thought that the shops were just closed, but some of them had lights on, so they kind of went inside, putting money down, taking the stuff they needed. They hang out there till morning. But also, they had docked all around the village. They kind of flew over. But then, when the villagers came to see the ship, they actually asked for their pirates to take over the island to talk about Buggy's crew, but Luffy didn't see the Buggy's crew. They were all asleep on their own boat. Which actually did shock Luffy, but he says so he's willing to clear them out, and he'll even give them some money. Luffy has almost 1 billion berries. He has a lot of it. So yeah, whatever. So I'd use a very weird conversion, but Luffy, if we were to put it in like an average amount of money compared to like a Japanese salary for certain people, Luffy would basically have around 300, 400 million berries. So he has a decent amount of money. And we'll just say that Buggy's crew took like 80 million from them, so Luffy immediately just paid them 80 million, saying, here, keep it. So with this, he immediately took Zoro and Kobe to the village, and as they're walking towards it, they arrive in the village right as Nami had arrived. Then Buggy's crew would try to chase Nami off their boat, only for someone to kick one of the guys in the face. Buggy's whole crew's like getting up out of the boat, and Buggy's even there. But Zoro's still in the button-up shirt, the pants, everything, and Zoro cutting down guys left and right pretty easily, as Kobe used the rifle to fire from a distance. Luffy can use a variety of weapons. Hinoa mainly used guns, so Luffy's a pretty good marksman. We usually took the rifle from Kobe and immediately aimed at Buggy's head, hitting his hat off, and immediately scared Buggy. This Buggy turned out to see who shot him. He shot in the arm twice, and he would just hide. But then Luffy shot the barrel, hitting Buggy in the leg, then shot Buggy in the foot. But he's asking how he's still being hit, even if he's hiding. Luffy says he sees triple what a regular human can, and that's just him not using any special abilities. Then use Haki, and then sees sextuple what a regular human does. And he basically just nailed down Buggy. He's just using bullets, and Buggy's pretty easily beaten up shot down by Luffy. He's not dead, but he's being contended to by guys. Luffy just keeps shooting down Buggy's crew pretty effortlessly, just not even like trying. And he's holding the rifle with one hand. So yeah, the recoil doesn't bother Luffy at all. It's not hard. It's not hard, but well, for Luffy, it's not. But yeah, Luffy, a lot of Buggy's crews and like what limited bullets he had. A lot of them went to Buggy, sure, but Luffy can use pretty good, just like can use pretty good shots. So basically, he gave the rifle back to Kobe. Kobe reloaded it, and Luffy and Zoro pretty easy to basically beat down Buggy's whole crew pretty effortlessly. Luffy does find the map of the East Blue, but that's what they give it to Nami. She asks why he gave it to her, not keeping it if he knows what it is. And he says he already has like 3 of those on his own ship, which Kobe and Zoro were shocked by. Those were maps of the Grand Line and the East Blue. Because, yeah, those maps basically one of the biggest maps. Maybe like some of it was drawn out by Benimaru, Obi, and Benimaru. Kinoa, Obi, and Benimaru drew the map together. One of the maps together. Basically mapped out the east, the north, and the south. But then there's part 2 of the map, which is out of the 3 maps that Luffy has, 2 of them belong to Obi and Benimaru and Hinoa. Basically, the 2 maps put together. One of them maps out the north, south, and east blues. Then one maps out the East Blue, all the way through Paradise to the beginning of the New World, even into a little bit to Punk Hazard. So yeah. They even have the description of what Punk Hazard is, but they say, some of it does go wrong a lot, so it may change. They put that on Punk Hazard. So when Luffy talks about what the maps are, he says that he never traded these for any amount of money, but he says that these can go for even billions of berries. But Luffy doesn't invite Nami into his crew, saying that she seems to be good at maps. He asks her if she could at least guide him to Paradise. She can leave it anytime she wants to after that. She says, so be a guide for a pirate crew. Kobe says, we're actually not a pirate crew, we're crew of heroes. Zoro says, Kobe, shut up, we sound nerdy. And Kobe just apologizes, he just bows. Zoro says, yeah, but he's right, we're not really pirates. I'm a bounty hunter, Luffy's a fireman, Kobe's Kobe. And then Nami's like, so you're a fireman, but you're strong and a good marksman. He says, yeah, my masters used to be ex-vice admirals. Well, they used to be in cipher pulls. They had cipher pulls too. One of them was even a guard for celestial dragons. He smiles. Nami froze that Luffy had 3 masters who were nearly all the same tier. If you were to put it in a very similar term, they're strong enough to be considered guards of celestial dragons. Or all on his crew aren't even warlords, which he wants to be. But no. So with this, Nami thinks Luffy's pretty easily stronger than Arlong's whole crew together. So she immediately would join Luffy, knowing it's a better source of power, but also he's really nice. He doesn't even want to be a pirate, he says that out loud. But his dream's easier to accomplish as a pirate. So yeah. But with this, basically, Luffy and Zoro and Nami, what about that? I forgot to put on Do Not Disturb. Right. So Luffy, Zoro, Kobe, Nami, they all set sail, heading somewhere else. being, Sir Village. They get here, they dock on the other side of the island. Luffy says, just not scare villagers, we dock on the other side. And then I can pretty easily get you guys over to the town by flying. Which time he does see that Luffy can fly, which she loves it a lot. And the crew seems genuinely nice, but one thing she doesn't like is that Luffy has them all like daily workout. And Luffy and Zoro alternate swords as Luffy's martial arts are based off sword styles until it comes to his feet, where he would mainly use a style very similar to Blackleg style. So Luffy is even learning the ways of Bushido, which he would just use in his bare hands. This sword doesn't have Luffy's durability and his strength. His strength is stronger than a sword, his durability is greater than a sword, but his precision is not as good as a sword is. Or not precision, his slicing damage isn't as good as a sword is, but still, he does really good. But yeah, with this, basically go to town, they are able to buy a few things. Eventually, Luffy does, spy on, Clawdor. Clawdor is, really strong killing intent, which he does tell Usopp. So yeah, it's mainly directed towards Kaya, which Usopp is concerned about, so he kind of stays near Kaya's house in the shadows. Luffy eventually asks, Clawdor, hey, everyone seems to trust you, you know the village pretty well, do you know a shipwright? Clawdor says, why? He goes, he has a boat that he bought a while ago. It's pretty worn down, but it should get him to at least to Water 7, which is a shipwright island. Well, he doesn't know if his boat can make it that long. A pirate crew attacked them. They end up failing because Luffy's ship happens to be an old pirate ship. There's cannons on it, but still, he's a bit worried about it, which is all a complete lie. No pirate crew can attack Luffy without him turning the ship to ash. Clawdor talks to Mary. Mary gets his shipwright stuff. And Luffy pretty easily goes to Jolly Roger, making normal flags or normal sails. And then Mary began working on the ship, saying the ship could get Water 7, but I don't really trust how worn down it could be. He was Usopp on the boat talking to Luffy and everything, and Mary warned Luffy about Usopp. Luffy just says he knows who Usopp's dad is, so he's letting Usopp be his friend. We tried to shock Mary actually, but who cares? Then eventually, once the ship is well repaired, it could get them to at least the Florian Triangle now. But even if they're attacked, they should still get to Water 7 pretty easily, actually. So with this, Luffy would thank Mary. Mary even made them a whole ram head thing. And then, with this, they eventually leave, going forward now somewhere else. Yeah. So we go on somewhere else now, basically not somewhere else, but we go on a bit forward to the arc where Luffy's spying on Clawdor still. He finds out about the whole thing with Jonga, where he would warn Usopp about it. Usopp thinks Luffy, and Usopp still stays with Kaya. And then when Kuro's crew arrives, Usopp immediately ran, as Kobe had given Usopp a rifle, and Kobe picked up basically the staff. As he's been using a staff kind of like a sword now, as Nami gave him a staff. Because we're about Kobe's physical ability now. Kobe is actually, a little better shape, he lost a bit of the weight, but also he's still pretty short, but his body type is actually, strength and speed is pretty average for his age, which is still pretty good actually. Plus, he's someone who has technique, so he also knows how to hit someone where it hurts. So Kobe ran in front, and, he has Nami by his side. Basically, we just nail it on a few hits as they go for the jaw, temple, pit of the stomach, groin. They go for certain places only. With them being a bit faster than usual, it does work out pretty well. Luffy does say, guys aren't really too strong right now, so enhance your speed only. So they're able to take out their own guys in like 1 or 2 hits, which does go pretty well. The Mabian brothers attack them, but Zoro just appears behind them both, saying Itoryu, and then they both hit the ground unconscious. So yeah. And Zoro does realize that combining Luffy's 2 Aikido and Yaido styles along with his own Bushido way is insanely strong. So, yeah. He had to use Itoryu for foes he would have to go all out for. Also, by the way, wondering, because they caught Buggy's crew off guard, Zoro isn't stabbed right now, so he's in full capability right now. You haven't really even land a hit on Zoro, so that he's completely fine. He doesn't get hit once. He steps in using 2-sword style and 3-sword style to help Kobe and Nami. Luffy was staring at Kuro would just rush out on top speeds, even using Soru. But Luffy, he doesn't show it, but he doesn't know all Okushiki. He knows them all. He just doesn't use them all. That's it. He knows them all, just doesn't use them. He peeks from behind Kuro using Soru and just neck chops him, saying, "Nice try." Go to the ground, Luffy flips him through the air. Then, in what seemed like him snapping his neck, would just twist. With that, he actually snaps his spine, or such to snap his neck still, but it goes down the spine. He's not dead. But still, he'd rather be dead from what Luffy just did to him. He would yell in pain, and then realize that Luffy didn't kill him, but something is still wrong with him. With Nami inspects his neck, saying, "Did you snap it?" And Luffy says, "Yeah." She's like, "Why isn't he dead?" Luffy says, "Well, I snapped his spine, but I didn't want to kill him. So what I did is make sure he can never move anything below his neck again." And Crow's whole crew is shocked by this, and they actually didn't realize that Luffy's crew didn't realize he was that precise with just his motions. This Crow's crew eventually retreats, but as they try to, Luffy just turns the ship to ash, as Jungle was just knocked out in the forest, so they didn't grab him. But the Marines will arrive arresting them, and Luffy's crew, no one really knows what their boat looks like, and Luffy usually wears a straw hat still, so, yeah, but Luffy gets a bounty of around 20 million, because, well, him, Zoro, and Kobe pretty easily defeated a Marine base. And Kobe was like the main one people would see first, so they ended up basically saying, pink hair, green hair, straw hats. So yeah, Luffy, Zoro, Kobe, pretty obvious. Kobe has a bounty of 2 million, and then that's for the Coast Guard. And then basically, like Kobe has a 2 million Coast Guard bounty, Zoro a 8 million Marine bounty, and Luffy a 15 million Marine bounty. So yeah. They took down a Marine base together. Kobe as the diversion, but still did pretty good. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, so we go on now basically on to the next arc, I believe, being maybe yeah, probably just Baratie. Pretty chill. Sanji and everything. Sanji does actually get a bit annoyed that Luffy is in such a friend establishment, but only wearing like sandals. But not actually up saying Luffy's combat is based off his own feet. So wearing like regular shoes with him on his strength, and also he uses flames. They could ruin pretty good shoes. I'll be right back. Alright, this sounded really bad, I know. All that crying was due to saying someone's telling him no Mountain Dew. Toddlers are petty, I guess. It's a lesson. Toddlers are petty. Alright. So Sanji basically hears Luffy's whole combat style is based off his feet, and Luffy agrees to fight Sanji. Sanji was intrigued by it. I definitely actually watched this fight between Sanji and Luffy using their feet. And Luffy being Sanji's better using the style than him. Luffy then has an idea. What if he can use swords techniques but in his feet? With this, Luffy began incorporating Iaido and Aikido techniques, but the ones that can fit better for his feet. They're a bit harder to use, and they usually trying to evolve in the fight. And he actually does lose to Sanji, only because he does say that, Sanji's technique is a bit better than his. But yeah, he actually wants to invite Sanji and his crew to teach him how to use his feet better. Once Luffy gets a grasp of the black-legged style, like that's what Sanji calls it, Sanji can leave and head back to Baratie. And Sanji is shocked by this, as Nami also says that she's here temporarily, only to get him into paradise. Luffy is a pretty okay navigator. It's just that the maps that he has, the professional maps that aren't hand drawn by his masters, other ones are a bit harder to use. So yeah, but we can go on probably just to Sanji saying he'll think about it. But suddenly Gin stumbled in, pretty beaten up, and Luffy saw the Marine ship outside, or the leaving one. He is so angry over nothing. Alright, so basically Luffy had grabbed Gin, hiding him, and, well, because the Marine ship was about to turn around, but Luffy just hid Gin, gave Gin food, and Gin had ate it, being pretty happy about it. So yeah. And Luffy looked to Sanji outside, telling him his dreams and everything. He actually asked Gin, what pirate crew you're on. He's like, I was on the Krieg pirates. Like, oh, you're on that shitty crew. And Luffy told Gin what he meant by shitty crew is, Krieg's crew seems to be a crew that isn't driven by any sort of dreams. But Gin seems to at least have a hint of wanting to dream about something. And basically, Gin says, he doesn't really have a dream himself, but if you were to put it in words, he'd want to protect his captain to the end. Luffy then asks Gin, what's Krieg done that deserves your respect and your protection? And he tells Gin, think about this, don't give a random answer saying, let me live. Think about it really hard. That isn't letting you live. Gin's going around 5 minutes before saying, nothing. His life is betrayal, murder, and that's it. And Luffy nods saying, my point exactly. He's done nothing worthy of having you live your own dream of trying to protect him. A real pirate is someone who has a good dream, no matter how cruel or how good it is. They'll do nothing to stop at it. They'll do anything they can to accomplish it. Luffy asks Luffy what his dream is. Luffy talks about his masters and what happened, and how he wants to, save the world from these celestial dragons. He wants to eradicate them all, at least make them be humble and live as normal people. And with this, Sanji would actually think about this dream, saying, does that include other kings or impressed with their kingdoms? And Luffy says, yeah, it does. And Sanji then smiles, saying, he'll join Luffy. He'll stay with him until the end. If he thinks that Luffy goes going a bit too far at some point, he'll correct him. And if that happens too much, he'll leave. But until then, he'll stay with Luffy till the end. Luffy with a smile. And Gin says he'd like to join them as well, saying his dream will now be to protect the Straw Hat Pirates, and saying he wants to bring his crew here. He wants Luffy to tell Krieg a lesson and beat him. We said his character's pretty hard-headed, so he'll probably listen until he threatens to murder him. But Luffy tells Gin to do whatever he wants. Gin preps all the cooks and tells all the civilians they should evacuate. They do. They set their own small dinghies and everything. They leave, thinking them for the glorious meal. They all get complimentary alcohol and everything, even a bit of food. So they all leave happily, and eventually Krieg's crew would arrive, seeing no one inside. Only for Luffy to come up Krieg, saying he wants to fight Krieg. Krieg would do so, knowing who Luffy is. Krieg has 25 million Bay bounty. Luffy has 50 million Bay bounty. With this, Sanji would basically look at Luffy and Krieg fight. Only realize that Krieg's not hitting Luffy even once. At least when he is, Luffy doesn't take any damage whatsoever. Krieg even resorts to using his poison on Luffy, but everyone would just hide in the brassiere or put on gas masks. Luffy just held his breath through it, and immediately the poison dispersed with Luffy waving his hand once at full force, like a giant shockwave ready to kill the poison. It was Luffy just holding his breath and just let it go, and he didn't seem to be fazed by it at all. We walked over to Krieg, pulling the hand out like he's going to impale him. And he did just that, impaling Krieg to the chest on his own hand. As Krieg would cough up blood, and Luffy talking to him about fight, trying to get to acknowledge his dream. Krieg says, "Perhaps are those who should murder, kill, do whatever they want. It's foolish to have a dream as a pirate, unless you want to take, steal, and murder anyone who bothers you. You're not a real pirate. You're just a child." Luffy doesn't take like someone told him his dream, so he killed him. Luffy's eyes look a bit like a bit black around the white part of your eye. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, Luffy's eye turns completely red. The white part of his eye turned black, or starts to, but he's just gonna let it go. Slices it out of Krieg's chest and throw him into the ocean. But Krieg then attack Luffy, only for Gin to intervene, hitting Port in the chest with a tonfa, shattering his whole shield and knocking him out. And he told his crew to leave. Luffy's right about everything he said. Unless you guys have a dream that you're willing to do anything to stop that doesn't involve Krieg or his whole crew, leave and never become a pirate again. They do, and they leave. So yeah, they take Pearl and Krieg's body with them, of course. But as they leave, heading to Kokuyashi, there's not many to Luffy's situation a while ago. So yeah, they're literally on the way to Kokuyashi, but they were out of food, so they stopped at the brassiere. Luffy said that they can't fight on an empty stomach. But they flew all the way over to Kokuyashi. They end up docking in a ship. And they see like the fishermen about to kill the Marines in a way. Suddenly, Zoro, Sanji, and Nami in the water fought off all the fishermen, and the Marines thanked Luffy's crew, asking why pirates would take Marines. Luffy tells them they don't want to be pirates, but if the Marines are too corrupt in some places that they won't be happy joining them. And the Marine says, that's true. How about this? I'll help you right back at the fishermen, but we want an honorable battle like we tried and we didn't ally ourselves with you. Luffy's not saying, yeah, sure, we'll do whatever you want. Nami says, how about this? A counter offer. We'll be taking on fishmen, and you defeat Nezumi. You give us the credit for the fishmen, and say that you fought Nezumi off for trying to ally himself with the fishmen in the last remaining moments. Like, call Nezumi a leeching scum towards pirates, and everything else. You take all the credit for Nezumi. You take a little bit of the credit for the fishmen, but give us the credit for Arlong. And with that, well, the Marines agreed. There's a lot more credit to go around for them, but still, you give credit for Arlong, something good. So yeah. With this, the Marine calls for Nezumi about Arlong, saying he wants to make a deal. Nezumi arrived. Only see Luffy's ship hiding across the island, but they didn't see it's a pirate ship. They had normal sails. Only for Nezumi's ship to be bombarded with cannonballs and everything. It's almost she was panicking, wondering what was going to happen. Captain of the ship stabbed Nezumi through the stomach. Then it can just swing the sword out, almost cutting him wide open. Then Nezumi's arrested, thrown on the boat, and he's being healed, but still he's arrested. And then his whole crew that didn't die is arrested. And then Arlong's crew just bombarded with gunshots and everything. Only for the Straw Hat crew to burst into the doors. The villagers by their side holding pitchforks and everything, and all the streets being basically just run down. Hachi escaped with Momu, by the way. Hachi survived still. Arlong would attack Nami, saying her, calling her a jam traitor. Only for Luffy put a foot on Arlong's face, and immediately Arlong is reduced to ashes. Luffy says anyone who's made discriminate suffer this much doesn't deserve to be around him. With that, Luffy and his whole crew are pretty easily take down the rest of the fishmen with help of the Marines and the villagers. And with this arc would end. The Marines give all the credit to Arlong to Luffy, and the rest of the credit for taking Nezumi and his guys go to them. Thus they leave, but they decide to do something else for the pirates as they realize how strong they were, and well, they don't know if they're going to seek vengeance, or not seek vengeance, but betray them. But so they get a bit better than favor of the Straw Hat crew. They give the credit for Nezumi and Arlong to Luffy and the Straw Hats, giving Luffy's bounty a bit of a higher up raise from 30 million. He's already at 15. He goes from 50 million all the way up to 45 million. Behind him happen to be Zoro and Kobe still, but Sanji's in new addition. Basically Zoro behind Luffy was already at 5 million, I believe. He goes from 5 million all the way to 20 million. Kobe goes from 2 million Coast Guard all the way up to 8 million Marine. Then Sanji is at 3 million Marine, and Gin is at 12 million. So yeah. But now with this, we go on a bit more forward again. Now just to Logtown. Luffy as he fights Smoker. Smoker realizes that Luffy's not wanting to fight him, but Luffy just hides. But as he hides in the same bar, Bartolomeo will walk in, being impressed with Luffy, saying, Luffy's so cool and everything. He wants to be be part of the pirate crew and everything. And Luffy just says sure. As when Bartolomeo mentioned his whole barrier thing, Luffy punched the barrier, forced to create a shockwave, and the barrier still withstood everything. Luffy just turned to Bartolomeo, telling him, welcome aboard. So, yeah. I realized that I forgot to write down the crewmates that I want in the crew. I had to add on all of them besides Luffy, Kobe, and Zoro. Alright. But the Smoker would find Luffy asking him why he's not taking him seriously. But Luffy says Smoker is a genuinely good guy. He will not fight a good Marine. He'll fight the bad ones, sure, but Smoker is not one of them. Smoker would ask Luffy what he means by the bad Marines. Luffy just tells Smoker there's corruption everywhere, but even Smoker has to admit it. As he turns away, and his whole crew actually gather again, but by the mail with a new addition. But the ship is the size of Sunny, they can fit a lot of guys. Sunny was fitting, Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, Robin, Frankie, Brook. It was fitting all of them all the way until Wano. The Sunny can fit these guys right now. As Luffy, Kobe, Zoro, Nami, Sanji, Usopp, Gin, and Bartolomeo. You can fit all of them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people. So yeah, you can carry them, and carry a few more people as well. But yeah. They get all the way over, basically now, over this mountain, and the Marines thinking about pursuing, but Smoker says, trust me, these guys aren't pirates by choice. Which actually, well, they kind of are, but kind of aren't. And I guess that's what he means when he says, as one of them, the captain of the crew, seems to want to battle corruption all across the world. Because he mentioned Marine corruption to me specifically, saying I was a good Marine. So, I want to see what they're made of a bit more. But until we catch them do something truly horrible, we're not going to fight them. We're going to observe them. And Smoker said that out loud, which the Marines all agreed to. As they said, when they come to the Straw Hat crew, they all just ran away, not fighting. And it seemed like they easily could have taken them down from how fast they were and how much strength they showed off. Or what was I? Yeah, so Smoker, we should more or less observe them, not fight them. And some Marines agree to that. Not some, all of them do. With this, the crew would leave, heading over to River Mountain. They meet Crocus, they meet Laboon. Luffy doesn't fight Laboon. Or if he doesn't fight him using the ship, he would just fight Laboon with one punch and beat him with that one punch. So yeah. So we go on a bit more forward to the next part, being Whiskey Peak, which Luffy already hot out. Everyone here wants to kill them. So they immediately threw hands to the one they docked. So yeah, after that, they get to Low Garden in the same day. Well, the same hour, really, but yeah. Luffy kind of flew at top speed just to avoid Rush Mountain, avoid Whiskey Peak a bit more. So yeah. Low Garden, they hang out there for a bit. Luffy talks to Dory and Brocky. They get along pretty well. Then the next part would probably end up being just them staying there. They sat there for a lot longer than usual. because Sanji and Zoro had the same argument, but then Luffy says like he'll hold her a minute. And when he got close, he wanted to kind of just wanted this debate to end. So he basically ended up walked by like one of the animals, seared like a centimeter of it off, so quickly and so little that no one even could tell it was burned. And they look, and well, Luffy's like, sorry, Zoro, Sanji won by 1 centimeter. And Zoro just yelled in anger. So yeah. Hold up. So basically, yeah, Luffy helped Sanji win because, well, he didn't want the debate to go on. Durham Buggy saw that, and they realized it was smart. It's cheating, but smart. So yeah. Alright. So we can go on to probably just late at night when Mr. Five, Miss Valentine, Mr. 3, Miss Golden Week arrive, along with the mole rat or the mole and the vulture arrive. Hanji pretty easily just turned the vulture and the mole into dinner. And then Mr. 5 would basically attack Zoro and Luffy. When they hit Luffy like a giant explosion, Luffy is even phased by it, saying he's immune to explosions and flames. Which shocked everyone. Luffy appeared right in front of Mr. 5, used one giant explosion of compressed flames, and blew his head off. So, yeah. No one, because we look at this in an anime point of view, no one could really tell it was his head blown off. They could just see smoke coming from his head, but his head's gone. So yeah. Then when Mr. 5 defeated, Miss Valentine would attack Luffy as well. Zoro just picked her up and chucked her in the water. And then eventually led on to just Mr. 3. Mr. 3 being using this thing where it's hard to move, using the wax and everything. But immediately by the mail used a barrier that appeared kind of above him, I'd say. Well, we don't know if his barriers can do that actually. Actually, we can't. Actually, no, we can't. But a better plan. So basically, Mr. Mayo would just basically put his hand in the bubble and run full speed ahead with the barrier the hand above his head. And then as he got close enough to Mr. 3, he basically dismissed the barrier. The barrier, just force his hand to move. And before he turned into a wax statue, he'd punch through Mr. 3's wax boxer and knock him right out of it into the forest. And with him knocked out, all the wax would basically just go away. So yeah. So yeah. So we can go on a bit more forward, basically to next part being We can go on probably to the next thing being maybe I don't know. Probably just Mrs. Golden Week. She didn't really paint on Luffy because Luffy knows where she is. And right, she's about to paint on someone. Luffy's called out, oh, Vivi, move, and Vivi would just immediately move, swing around a peacock blade, slashing Mrs. Golden Week across the face, and she would just retreat immediately. He eventually would leave the island, helping the defeated ones that are alive escape. First, she had to get Miss Valentine out of the water, which was really hard, but she did it. No, you. But as they're all able to leave, we eventually go on to the next part being we'll drop Drum Island. But there, as around the same time that Ace had arrived, so Blackbeard just left and Walpole still gone. Now Ace would see the ship dock and then see the Jolly Roger, and immediately ran towards the ship, and Luffy saw someone running, and everyone saw Luffy just light up with glee and smile. Ace would jump hugging Luffy, and Luffy's happy to see Ace. Luffy talked to Ace for a bit. Then eventually Ace would just reveal he's Luffy's older brother, but Luffy's still the stronger one. And talk about how they have another brother named Sabo, but he's not here. Anyway, some Bartholomew and Nami recognize the name Sabo. Nami doesn't know from where, but Bartholomew mainly spoke up knowing where it's from. Bartholomew already rules over hundreds of islands in the east. He knows a lot of things. So yeah. And so he mentioned who Sabo was, where he is and everything. Not even Ace and Luffy knew where he was or what position he held. But then Bartholomew revealed another secret, saying Sabo's bounty, 602 million. Ace immediately sighed in jealousy as they asked why he's sighing. Ace says, my bounty is only like 550. And Luffy says, I'm only at 45 million. Ace says, that's pretty impressive. I haven't really is that your first second bounty? He says, my second bounty. My first one I got 15 million. So it's pretty impressive compared to my first bounty, that is. At least we got your bounty a bit faster, so yeah. But yeah. So We can go on a bit more forward, basically, to like the next thing being maybe not maybe Chopper and everything. They hang out there for a bit, and with Ace's help, they're able to find the doctor because Nami's still sick. And with this, they're able to have Chopper treat Nami with Dr. Rain, and Luffy's actually pretty nice, not calling Chopper emergency food. He made a joke about it, but really just kind of dismissed it, talking to Chopper like a normal person. Chopper would actually trust why they're not scared of him, and they say, well, he isn't really a scary guy, but we know that he can get scarier than anything. So yeah. So they all just hang out, talk for a bit. But then we go on a bit more forward, basically, the Chopper just getting caught into what Luffy's dream is. And then eventually, when they're about to leave, Chopper is pretty sad, but Luffy just asked them to join, and Chopper would agree. And Dr. Nani and Chopper wanted to join them. So yeah. Luffy gave them a copy of his flag, saying keep it. But then after leaving, they do encounter Wapol, but Ace just fire-fisted the ship into ashes, and then that's it. And then Ace is going with them because he's heading to Alabasta either way. So yeah. He also said Luffy's ship is a lot bigger than his first ship at all, so yeah. And Luffy says after 3 years, once they left, he got their pay, so he had a lot more money. But Ace just chuckled, saying he could guess that. So yeah. They head on Alabasta now. They chill out there for a bit. And Luffy tells the Ross, just go, accompany Vivi. If she tells you go somewhere, go somewhere. Me and Ace are going to go, I'm just going to check out this guy, Scorpion. So, yeah. They just that. Luffy and Ace can, talk to Scorpion, but Luffy and Ace, through their years being guards and interrogation, also being firefighters, there's people having to lie about not starting fires. They can spot a liar a mile away. So, this guy says he got Blackbeard. They immediately knew it was a lie. But Luffy just immediately handed over a ton of berries. Luffy has a lot of money. He threw him 4 million berries, which a yearly salary in Japan, like a average salary. Immediately, Scorpion almost cried, thanking Luffy. So yeah, this would be enough money to at least buy a little bit of fertile soil and plant normal things. So yeah. But we can go on now to the next thing being we can go on probably just the next thing being just fighting the numbers. But Luffy told Ace to stick around, see what his crew can do. And Luffy's first fight with Crocodile didn't happen because Crocodile couldn't find Luffy. Luffy and Ace were honestly hanging out, fighting, defeating Brokeworks from the secrets from the shadows. Brother Man was helping him as well because Brother Man follows Luffy anywhere. Just the difference. Brother Man thought Luffy didn't know he was there. Luffy knew, so yeah. Brother Man helped Luffy infiltrate Brokeworks, defeat all the Brokeworks agents and the guards and the rebels. Well, Brother Man handled the rebels. Luffy and Ace handled the guards. So yeah. So it came the whole war. Well, no, Koza isn't shot, so there's no advancing in the war, which does confuse Crocodile. But still, eventually, Luffy ended up revealing that he's not a guard, saying that they're pirates, but they infiltrated the Marines because Crocodile infiltrated the guards and the rebels, and they defeated all the agents. Crocodile was the one destroying the country from the inside. And with this, they immediately stop fighting and fight Brokeworks. They even find the bomb. And they tell Luffy about it, as Ace is just kind of holding a Crocodile until Luffy wants to fight. Luffy got the bomb, picking it up, flying in the air as high as he can, and the bomb still did go off, but Luffy got high enough in the sky that the bomb is nearly in space now. Well, Luffy's Kaido level durability, and this bomb basically being a nuke, but Kaido can tank nukes. You've seen him do it, or nuke level blasts. Luffy immediately tanked this blast as he hit the ground, but he got up using hysterical strength now. So, yeah, hysterical strength would be the one thing that happens. There's nothing else there's no dramatic pause or anything. No. Luffy just gets back up immediately using hysterical strength. And I've already set up his power, there's no reason to hold it off. His power's set up. Luffy got back up immediately from the blast, which shocked Crocodile. Luffy just has his eyes his eyes almost shut, but he has a very creepy grin. He appeared in front of Crocodile using one kick. That eradicated the whole castle, and Crocodile, Luffy moves so fast that he outsped Crocodile's reflexes. So Crocodile can't turn into sand. Luffy hit him so hard he sent him flying all across the kingdom. And Sokka saw Luffy do this and realized that Luffy's holding back majorly if he didn't launch off a kick that hard and that much durability. Hell, even if Luffy's Delphi was cancelled out, he's not nailing Luffy down with blows. Only thing Luffy's Devil Fruit gave him is speed. That is the only thing that was given to Luffy by his Devil Fruit, just speed. Well, and also immunity to flames and explosions. But Luffy already has Kaido level durability, so it doesn't matter. He's immune to explosions, but the shockwave was one thing that knocked him out, or almost knocked him out. But his hysterical strength almost is immediately gone, so, yeah. So with this, we go on a bit more forward again. Now to like, next thing we go on to is like maybe, who knows? Probably just Jaya. The numbers are pretty easily defeated. Like Zoro literally shot Mr. 1 and hit him in the chest once with a punch, and it took him down like the whole arc. They don't even use like a sword style. He just hit him in the chest once. All these workouts are brutal. That's why Luffy was so strong at 14 years old. This Luffy's already almost Yonko level if he wants to be. Using circle strength, he can march his strength all the way to Admiral level scale. It would just take a long time to do so. Like, insanely long time. Like, it'd take him hours, maybe, to get that level of power. But then again, let's see him Marineford because it was 12 hours long. So, yeah. This Luffy can already outspeed time itself, so who cares? But yeah, Obi's workouts are just brutal. So Zoro's body is already really strong. So he one-shot Mr. 1, who is just still using his blades. But Zoro just broke the devil fruit immediately. His hand's bleeding a little bit, but yeah. Then the same effect was on Nami. She's enough ability using like her muscle control to not be impaled, or at least not draw blood. So Nami pretty easily beat Miss Doublefinger in seconds. It wasn't really too hard. And yeah. But then we go on basically to like I would say probably just Usopp versus Mr. 4. Usopp just ran at him, full speed ahead, picking him up and just throwing him all the way to like a stone pillar. Then Usopp had used a new technique, as he just said, Usopp fastball. By baseball throwing it at top speed and using his full strength. Usopp has the body he has post time skip. It doesn't have as much strength as Mr. 4 does, but still he's pretty physically strong. And he hit Mr. 3 right in the mouth as hard as he can, which with how big the baseballs were to fit Mr. 4's giant body, they're a bit bigger than usual. So hit him right in the mouth and the chin. So yeah. So they basically ended up breaking Mr. 4's jaw, and he just yelled in pain and just couldn't fight anymore. Usopp took the baseball bat, yelling, Usopp strikeout. Or strikeout. Usopp home run. Yelling him in the face with it, knocking him out. And Usopp just put a thumbs up Chopper. Chopper says, "You're so cool." And then in the meantime, just holding Miss Merry Christmas and chokehold, punching him in the face. Except Chopper got a bit faster thanks to Luffy. So, yeah. They have a lot more days to spare in this arc, so Chopper got a bit of training in. Yeah. They have Vivi for a few days, they chill. Then they're about to leave. But Vivi wanted to join Luffy this time. Like, she wants to go out to sea, and is going to. Which confused Cobra, but she tells Luffy's dream, and he tells her to join immediately. She's like, she tries to reasonable, so it's Luffy, but she's a bit more reasonable, she's more used to this kind of stuff. So she would go with Luffy. The crew consists currently Luffy, Kobe, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Gin, Bartolomeo, Vivi, Chopper. That's the crew. Plus Robin and Bentham, because Bentham tried to help him escape at the end, but Luffy immediately just says, nope, how about this? We hit the water with a giant explosion, making a giant tsunami, like washing them onto a few ships. And with this, Luffy immediately pulled Bentham aboard, saying, see ya, and they leave. And then Robin was already aboard, and Luffy knew this. So yeah. Like, Luffy's vision is sextuple what a human's normal vision is. And you could also just simply see almost a full 360. Not that hard. So yeah, so he knew Robin was there a while ago. But yeah. So we go on now to the next part being Jaya. They shot there for a bit. Nami doesn't tell Luffy not to cause trouble. He's pretty smart. She knows that he won't unless there's reason. But Luffy still doesn't fight back until Bellamy hit Zoro. Luffy didn't fight back. The moment that Bellamy tried to climb Zoro's head through a table, Luffy grabbed him by the neck and just held him in place, threatening to tear his head off. And Bellamy's like, oh really, do it. Luffy grabbed him up with the other hand, being tearing his head off, and Bellamy's coughing up blood as Luffy's doing this. But eventually he just tried to put him all out, he submits, and Luffy put him down. So yeah. Bellamy immediately ran out of the bar scared, as his head was almost torn off his body. So yeah, he's terrified. So yeah. Pause. Alright, so going forward, basically we go on to what was it? Oh yeah. Yep. Bellamy retreated, Ace went with them again, but once they got to Jaya, Ace left on his own. So yeah. Ace left a little too early because he didn't see Blackbeard. Right as Ace was about to leave, Blackbeard walked into the bar, and Ace didn't see him, but Luffy did, and Ace was already gone before Luffy could say a word. And because Ace is over a large body of water, Luffy's a bit too nervous to actually fly out, because no matter if flames have a limit, Ace is going really fast. So Luffy may exhaust his flames a bit too quickly, just trying to catch up to Ace. But yeah, like on like land, Luffy's a lot faster than he is floating through the air. Or flying through the air. But yeah. Other than that, Dry Spree basically almost the exact same as in canon. But then we go into Skype where Luffy just flies up in the air using a rope to hold onto a ship. And yeah. So as they get to Skypiea, they chill out there for a bit. They're actually able to pay to get in. Luffy's also able to sweet talk the lady at like the door thing, not the door, at like the entrance thing, How about this? I'll pay this much for my whole crew, but not for individual people. And she says, okay, that works. It was a good amount of money and it worked. So yeah. With that, they get in, they meet Konos and Palgia, they chill out there, there's no guards that can attack them. And then they start to hear about like, Enel and everything. Now basically say, Luffy's almost all basically the god of our seas, or of like the ocean he's from. So how about this? God versus God. And I was a bit intrigued by this. A god versus God. So yeah. But this one basically to Luffy versus like this guy like this happening. And now already had all those guys waiting outside. Which when we try to fight, it says, no, we're waiting for someone else. Another god is here. Which shocked everyone. But Luffy and his crew arrived, and Luffy says, so you have Haki as well. And I was like, what the hell's a Haki? I have Mantra, if that's what you're wondering. Like, oh, that must be like this version of Haki. And he explains what Haki is, talking about what it was, and I was like, oh, yeah, we call it Mantra up here. I guess you have Haki. So yeah. With this, and now actually asked if Luffy was actually the god of his own sea, and Luffy says, yeah, he was the strongest ever in it. Not ever, but he was the strongest in it at his time. So yeah. With this, why actually asks Luffy who he is, and Luffy's like, don't bother. But Bentham and Bartolomeo just smirked, saying, you really think you can beat like, Luffy senpai, as they just smirked. But everyone jumped in, beating up all the Enel's guards immediately in seconds, and then Enel shocked his guys would be defeated that easily. So Zoro is keeping his like button up, black pants, really everything else. So yeah, so he's just chilling like this. And that was how strong Luffy's crew is. Luffy hid behind him, so he didn't even see it. Luffy hit him in the face, so him flying into the blue sea. Not blue sea, I mean into the white sea. And Enel was just sitting there trying to get out of it. But Luffy pulled him out of it, saying, he's not going to kill him just yet. He's unaware of Enel's running his whole island. But then Enel jumped away, targeting Raiga, saying this attack he used to eradicate a whole island. Luffy immediately heard that, saying, guess you are evil. Luffy held about 1 foot, saying, launch it, I dare you. And Enel launched Raiga onto Luffy. The Raiga touched Luffy's foot, and immediately Luffy kicked it into the space. Into space. He kicked the attack into space, with just not even using flames. Just a regular old kicked it into space. Enel froze with his jaw dropped. Luffy walked towards him, and disappeared, appearing behind Enel. And before Enel knows it, he's dead. Everyone sees Luffy tore off Enel's head with just raw strength, and dropped it into the white sea, then threw Enel's body in there. Luffy looked at Wiper. Wiper actually asked Luffy to join his crew. Luffy shows such profound strength, but also such profound morals over Enel. He's willing to spare Enel's life until Enel revealed he killed thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people. So Enel, he loved Luffy's morals, his strength, his fearing presence. Well, Wiper loved everything about Luffy, and he wanted to join him, saying, he's a good engineer and everything. Luffy said, sure, you can join. You can go ahead and teach Usopp. And Enel nodded. Wiper nodded. As they leave, we head down basically over to like just Water 7. Which is basically almost the same arc, just Usopp isn't beaten up. He has Gin with him at all times. Gin's like kind of like a glorified bodyguard. Usopp's pretty weak, so Gin and Bentham are like the guards for the weak trio. And now I don't know, Gin is like one of the upper echelon fighters, but so is Bentham, but they're not like the monster trio. So they're in like they act as if they're weak. They just because they need to guard the weakling trio. Even though the weakling trio is about as strong as they are post time skip, just not as much gadgets. Hold up. So so they leave Water 7. Usopp just doesn't get beaten up. That's like the only change in this arc, really. Like the only change. So yeah. because Gin and Mayo, or not Gin and Mayo, Gin and Bentham are always with some of the weak trio. So Gin was with Usopp, and Gin beat up all the guys. Franklin does want to attack the ship now, but Luffy literally just caused a giant explosion, which scared them all away. So yeah. Sanji still fought all of the Cypher Pole agents, but beat them all up. Even fighting off a bit of CB9 himself, beating up Kaku and everything. But Lucci was kind of his limit, as Lucci beat him. So, yeah. Only because Sanji was exhausted. Like, the strats that are, like, basically Sanji, Zoro, even Gin. Well, Gin, not all of them, but Gin can beat most of CB9 by himself. It took him to come down to Lucci, but Lucci would be a bit too hard for him. Honestly, just because of Rokushiki, that's about it. But Sanji can use a bit of Rokushiki, so if Sanji wasn't exhausted, he could have beaten all CB9 by himself. Same for Zoro. So, yeah. Well, Zoro has 5-sword style, so being Tempest Kick. But yeah. Luffy also used Tempest Kick in combination with his flames at times, but not always. But yeah, with this, we go on basically just them arriving at Enies Lobby because everything else was the exact same as in canon. But Luffy was also busy charging up a rapid. Like, he had to concentrate in one kick. He immediately got off the sea train and pointed the rapid just forward. Immediately, Sanji just hid behind hid behind the sea train. Luffy let out a kick that was so bright, it lit up, and he Lobby all the way over to even to water 7. Hell, if you look down at Skype, you can see through the white sea, some of it's turning orange through just brightness. Luffy eradicated basically half of Enies Lobby with one kick. Not even one kick, he just got one explosion. But then they're able to get on to some other part of the island somehow, and then eventually they're able to defeat everyone else. Zoro said he'll handle all CP9 by himself. Luffy says no, he'll do it. They're ones that annoy him the most, so he's going to be able to take them all down. As Luffy's a bit more easily annoyed by people who hurt his family, I guess, or his Nakama. Luffy basically would walk up over to CP9, CP9 holding Robin hostage, and I was like, you really think that you yourself can beat all CP9? He says, Sanji can do it by himself. He says, no, he can't. He got beaten up by Lucci. Luffy says, yeah, and he beat all of your agent you had, including everyone here, besides Lucci. And he says, wait, he really did that? And Lucci nodded, saying, yeah, he did. He did that. And Lucci even says, if he wasn't exhausted from fighting everyone else, I would have lost. So, yeah. Which even everyone else here is shocked by. Luffy just smirks, saying, yeah, and his crew doesn't hold a candle to him, so what can he do? And Lucci says, from that kick earlier, you can eradicate a whole island if you wanted to. Luffy smirks, saying, exactly. He appeared behind Spandam, kicking him in the face suddenly, and Spandam was immediately knocked out as Robin is shocked by Luffy's speed. He hasn't seen too many examples of his full power, so she can't really determine everything. She knows that Luffy's really fast, and that's it. Also, there's really good physical strength and durability, but durability, decent physical strength, and high speed is all she knows about him. But then Luffy produces basically body Ultimate 9 himself, pretty easily, taking basically no damage whatsoever. He handled a nuke. What do you think CP9 is going to do to him? What do you think they're going to do? Though CP9 is pretty easily bodied by Luffy. He can use all the same techniques, but times 10 because of his higher strength and speed and technique. CP9's bodied by Luffy. That's it. Then in the meantime, Spandam, using very little consciousness, called a Buster Call. But his whole crew, wanting to get a bit more credit, took down the Buster Call by themselves. When they started firing cannons, Bentham stepped in and Bentham stepped in using just barriers. Then Gin threw the Tonfa through a ship completely. But then Bentham used a barrier to just send us to kind of just deflect the Tonfa back through the ship again. And then they all just completely basically bodied the Buster Call. So, yeah. But in the meantime, Zoro also did Uzumashiri. R.I.P. But, yeah. Now with this, we can go on, basically, to Post-Enies Lobby, where they meet Garp and everything. They know Luffy's father, but Luffy already knew who his dad was. He's met him before. So, yeah. But Luffy isn't too shocked by this. Everyone else is. Then Luffy and Garp still do fight. But Garp eventually decides to stop, saying, he loses. Luffy has too much energy for him. So Luffy, quote-unquote, beat Garp. Well, he can beat Garp. It would just take him hours of charging up power. So, he also has to be in hysterical strength mode, which he's not in. But yeah. With this, basically, we go on, now to another triangle, which I don't really need to talk about Fiddler Bark at all, really. Kuma's the only challenge for this arc, and Luffy still bodied Kuma. Like, this arc is not an arc, it is literally assaulting Moria. This arc is the definition of home invasion and battery. This is the arc. Home invasion and battery. Luffy and his crew invaded Water 7. Not Water 7. Invaded Water Barkers to get Shusui and Brook Shadow. That's all they did here. Like, Luffy walked into the castle hoping to find Ryuma. Found Moria and Oars instead. Punched Moria through Oars' body. He turned Oars' body to ash, and then beat Moria to a pulp. Then turned the castle to ash. Zoro pretty easily just bodied Ryuma using the one-sword style. So, yeah, this arc is just complete and utter assault. No one has the shadow stolen. Nightmare Luffy isn't needed, as this Luffy can beat Nightmare Luffy in the palm of his hand. Like, Luffy just can wreck just Nightmare Luffy in seconds. He's already stronger than basically every warlord besides Mihawk. What's the point? What's the point of going any stronger or any weaker? So yeah. So with this arc is basically just over. It ended in like the first 30 minutes. That's it. Then as they leave, they do find Kuma on their boat, but they fight Kuma. Kuma fights Luffy mainly, but Luffy pretty easily messed up Kuma, evading all of his attacks pretty effortlessly, then shooting him flying straight in Perona. Then Perona just gets smacked away when she tries to attack Kuma. But Kuma already realized that he's not winning this fight, so he retreated. So yeah. But on Luffy's current bounty, he defeated Moria's whole crew. Well, his own crew did. Defeated Moria in like 30 minutes. He destroyed an island bounty's lobby on his own with 1 foot. He quote-unquote beat Garp. But Garp's only student currently is Homo, though. So, yeah. And Luffy's current bounty is around 390 million already. And then that is before he even knew where Sabaody was. So, yeah, this arc's a pretty simple one. So, yeah. Yeah, this arc is just nothing. Well, same for Sabaody, actually. It was bounty 390 million. Behind him is actually Bartholomew. Bartholomew's affordability is honestly too handy for the Marines. They want him only alive, simply so they can kill him in person and get his devil fruit. So, yeah. That's about it. Like, they want him alive simply just to get his fruit from him in person. His bounty behind Luffy is around 290 million, making 13 supernovas. So, yeah. Behind Bartholomew, Zoro with a bounty of 200 million exactly. Sanji around 180. Then Gin around 130. If they want to use Sanji, we can also count supernova, but mainly Luffy, Zoro, and Gin. It's like the only supernova, not Gin, Luffy, Zoro, and Bartholomew. It's like the supernovas Straw Hat crew. So yeah. And with this, as soon as it gets to just Sabaody, it's a pretty chill arc actually. They even protect Kami still. But then because they're keeping an eye on Kami, but then Bartholomew has his drink drugged and he passed out. Then the Kami's abducted. Then they find Kami. Before anyone knew it, Luffy immediately disappeared. As he walked in, he disappeared. And then, before anyone knew it, Kami had her head poking out, trying to escape. Luffy grabbed her collar, and using his raw might, snapped it. He's that physically strong. He can kick things out of orbit. You think he can't snap a damn collar? He snapped it, hit it in his shirt, then covered his shirt. I don't know what happened until they see a giant dust cloud emerge from Luffy, and his shirt has a hole in it. That's it. He would smirk, smiling, and helps Kami out of the container. Everyone just dropped besides Luffy's own crew. Even Law is shocked. Like, no human should be able to survive that. But thumbs up and sent the next to Law saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be surprised. He tanked a nuke. He was holding it." Law looked at Luffy with his jaw like Law has the Enel face right now. So yeah. But yeah. Well, this we go on basically to there's now Luffy and Kid walking out, and they just make the Marines in seconds. Luffy was just that fast and that strong. And Kid already know that Luffy has the title, should have the title of the strongest supernova. Like, the strongest, this is like the strongest supernova. Even Blackbeard calls him the strongest supernova. He saw Luffy's power. Luffy is strong. He's physically the strongest, and, in raw might, in every category, he's the strongest besides intelligence, where that goes to Law. And he's on second place in terms of intelligence. The only person who beats him in supernova is Law, and that's only in intelligence. Law barely has it over Luffy. Luffy now makes it to the top 3 smartest in the East Blue. it's trust me, it's he's stacked. But also, yeah. Basically, we go on basically now like Kizaru and Kuma arriving. Kuma basically appeared next to Luffy and whispered in his ear, he's part of the revolutionaries. Luffy came out his back sneakily, and then did a few hand tilts rapidly. It's only his crew understood this, but Rayleigh his Charles crew nod, and the crew being weakened their power so much to the point where Luffy just fought Kizaru only. Telling like whispering to Rayleigh now, Kuma is part of the revolutionaries, and my dad's dragon, so you can guess what that means. Kuma understood everything. Rayleigh understood everything, but still they can go all against Kizaru all they want. Luffy even push use of hysterical strength by will, and his power starts reaching insanely like high levels. And Screeches has never seen him get this strong before. When he moves so fast that he kind of atomize himself, and no one can even see where he was, not even Rayleigh or Kizaru could. And Rayleigh using advanced observation to try to find Luffy, he can't. But as soon as Kizaru thought like he found him, Luffy disappeared again, and Kizaru's punched in the face by Luffy full force. And he can even use Haki. Luffy's him flying all the way through his own ship, and Kizaru's like on the ground like trying to get back up, but he's just shaking. He just smirks, saying, I've never been hit that hard before. I can't even get up. Suddenly, Luffy says, alright everyone, let it happen. It's sort of like currently sitting on Sentomaru, and Luffy just like saluted to Kuma, saying thank you. With them all flying to the rest of the islands, Bentham goes with Luffy, and Bartholomew goes with Luffy. Then Gin is just sent with Usopp. So yeah. Now with this, they all go to their own islands, and Kuma just says goodbye to Rayleigh. So they currently do have the Sunny still. Well, the new Sunny. Some of the parts of their current ship was a lot better. Also Wiper, I forgot him. And BB too. Fuck. BB sent some with Nami, and Wiper sent some with Frankie. Yeah. Also, Brook isn't the same place as in Canyon, but yeah. So with this, yeah, they've like some of their parts of their old ship can still be salvaged. So they ended up basically using part of that in the Sunny, the new one that's actually the size of like an average supernova ship, which is massive. So yeah, like the canonical supernova ship are like almost are more than triple the size of the canonical Sunny. This ship is huge. It's massive. So yeah. Also a lot stronger. It's basically a Pluton, but like divided by 2. So yeah. It's like half the power of Pluton, so it can eradicate half an island in one shot. Well, Luffy is the strongest Pluton in 1 foot. So yeah. But yeah, so Luffy basically would go on and him, Bartholomew, and Bentham kind of explore this place for a bit. And Bentham says that Luffy and Bartholomew are I guess, their husband. Because Bentham's a Kama, which means he can be male or female. Which they do acknowledge. Because the Kujar woke. So yeah. Luffy allowed in, then Bentham is able to meet Hancock, where Luffy met her as well. Then Hancock wanted to do things with Luffy. But even Shinra has some like things for women. So yeah. So yeah, because Shinra is supposed to show like a bit of blushing and everything. So when Boa's trying to seduce Luffy, Luffy does blush a little bit and gets a bit nervous, but Boa can see that Luffy's excited in some areas. So yeah, he kind of did it, which he didn't really mind actually. Luffy can now say he officially banged the world's most attractive woman. Few people say Big Mom, few people say Robin. But One Piece world is canonically Boa Hancock. So yeah. And Bentham and Bartholomew were jealous, but still. Then we go on to Luffy's being able to sneak aboard the ship for like Momonga and everything, with Bentham and everything. Like Bentham kind of decides himself as like a random marine, and Bartholomew did the same thing. But Bentham had to change Bartholomew's appearance a little bit. But then once they're aboard, they change their appearance back, and they're hiding in Hancock's room. So yeah, Boa Hancock kind of tries to hide Luffy like under her clothes and everything. So yeah. Then Bartholomew just hides below decks, like scavenging off food with Bentham. But again, they get in the impel down. They pretty easily get in there actually. And Bentham, as he got in, decides himself as like Hancock, as Hancock like just hid for a bit. Then when Bentham met Hancock, but Donald's obviously like starstruck. Then with her being starstruck, she's punched in the gut by Bentham, who just smirked, saying, "Sorry, but you're in our way." Then immediately we have everyone else being able to pretty easily just defeat. Once people take out the cameras and everything, and then they escape. So not escape, but they go deeper and Impel Down. Got the same crew as in canon. But then eventually they come across Magellan. But the brother steps in saying he'll beat him in one go. Which actually confused everyone but Luffy and Bentham, saying, you can beat Magellan in one blow. That's impossible. Brother says, who's going to punch him? We put a barrier that summoned Magellan over and over again. And just like, mercy, mercy, mercy. But no, he's being like just decimated. By the time Magellan's done, every bone in Magellan's body is just almost atomized. So, yeah. They head deeper and Impel Down. They fight Hannibal, who Luffy's kicked him in the face and walked away. So, yeah. He kind of holds on to like just his sword and everything, cuts down a few guys on his way. And they grab on to like this just same crew in canon, but Ace isn't there still. So yeah, they head to New Common Land, getting everyone their clothes that they need. Then they leave, now heading on basically over to like just Marineford. Luffy like picked up the ship and flew at top speeds just to get to Marineford. As he's being held up by Brother Mayo, just letting him charge up a rapid. Then Brother Mayo jumps in the air, throwing Luffy down towards the ground. And then Jinbei is told to like lift the ship in the air. Luffy then flies down, speeds using rapid, picking up the ship with one hand, throwing Jinbei aboard, holding up one hand, flying at top speed, then using two hands, holding up a lot easier. Then they get to Marineford in the span of 3 minutes. That's how fast Luffy's flying at this point. Like he's flying almost as fast as light is. And the rest like go below deck so they don't get torn to shreds by the laws of physics. Like, the ships are just already being destroyed at Luffy's speeds. When he arrived, there's half the ship left, and the crew is just hiding. But eventually, Luffy threw the ship like right down towards the water. They all are able to get to the top of it as it's frozen. And then everyone's shocked that Luffy's already here, but Luffy's gone. They don't know where he is. Whoever really got up like just ready to fight is the system for Kizaru. Like, even some Marines are like there looking around ready to fight, including Smoker. Like everyone's questioning these Marines what they're doing, and Sugoku's like, Garp, what are you doing? Garp, like the Kizaru then spoke up saying, he moves faster than I can using Haki. Even if he's confused really with his speed. If I can't track him here, no one can. Garp even said the same thing. And then Garp brought up that Luffy made him submit because he was too fast. Which mainly like everyone got on guard looking for Luffy. Only for Ace to say, yo. And Ace is already on Whitebeard's ship as Whitebeard jumped, wondering how Ace got there. Looks at the guards, they're looking for their keys and everything. And then Sugoku looks closer, they're not even wearing anything. Like, Luffy moves faster than time itself. Time was at a standstill for him. Like, he's going to the extreme for Ace. Then Marco immediately just stepped back, falling over to Ace, killing him, then a few other Impel Down KPs. Kizaru attack Luffy as Luffy and Kizaru just yell, round 2. Luffy and Kizaru in fighting, and Luffy eventually just knocked out Kizaru in like 3 blows. It's not too hard for Luffy to do that. He's more durable than Kaido is, not even using his double fruit ability. Kizaru also plays based off explosives, some of his attacks are. But Luffy's taking those just because his double fruit gives him just natural immunity to it. Shockwaves aren't doing anything to him, actually. One thing that happened in Alabasta is the shockwave knocked him in through a stone building. So that's why he went into his hysterical strength. The man should have broken his neck 9 times in 2 seconds. So yeah. But Luffy just isn't even being hit to the ground or anything. He's just tanking all the blows and just naturally. Aiming so fast that Kizaru can't react to him, so Kizaru's being hit everywhere. In 3 blows, Kizaru's knocked out, which everyone's shocked by. Luffy just smirks, and he's basically just murk a lot more Marines in the way. We found Smoker, and immediately we got up a giant dust cloud using the ice, surrounding him, Tashigi, and Smoker. Asking them if they had found him. Also to mention something. Kobe, where he went. He went with Zoro, simple as that. Alright, back to this. So basically, Luffy and Tashigi and Smoker were talking, and Luffy actually asked them if they found out about corruption, or if they learned what he meant. Both nod, put the weapons, saying it's a shame that they had to fight him. Luffy says, you don't worry. The Salafleers of Smoker and Tashigi beaten, and Luffy's gone. So yeah. Luffy proceeds to just murk any Marine in his way, and he eventually had found Garp, as Garp landed in front of him, and Garp is just ready to throw hands. So yeah. So Luffy basically ended up putting up his fists. Garp did the same thing. Only thing that Luffy knew he was going to lose now was Sengoku joined Garp. Luffy decide, saying he's not going to die here, but he's not going to win. So he fights Goku and Garp, and does lose. So yeah. But once Ace intervened, and Luffy even told Ace to leave. You're not strong enough to be here right now. Ace doesn't know just a ton of Kushiki, and he's not really doing no much damage to him as he's fully healed now. The only thing that shows he was damaged is his clothing that's pretty torn up. But eventually, Ace is able to get Luffy out of there. But then Akainu appeared behind Ace, about to basically use basically the red dog hack through Ace's chest. Ace is able to use the Tekai and block a lot of it till Luffy kicked Akainu in the face. Luffy's leg is gone for some reason. And Luffy says, give him a few minutes. Give him a few seconds for him to recover. But Marco appeared next to him, hitting Luffy. Luffy's leg is restored, as he just says thank you. He stood up, and immediately, he's panting, he's in hysterical strength right now, as Ace almost died, and Luffy is just stressed out. Luffy had to decide, telling everyone to get away from him right now. Something feels wrong. Everyone's like, what do you mean? What do you mean by something feels wrong? But Jinbei felt something was off too. Same for Bartholomew and Bentham. But Bentham, there's a barrier separating a Whitebeard's crew from Luffy, saying everyone stay behind this barrier, and if you don't, you may die. Suddenly, Luffy's eyes turn black, and then there's red, like the iris and everything. And Luffy just smirked as something like devilish said, "This brat isn't doing his job right, so I'll do it for him." And suddenly Luffy's flames turned black instead of being the usual flaming color. And immediately Ace mumbled Amaterasu. As Luffy just sped full speed ahead, and within a few seconds, there's multiple skeletons right behind him. And immediately Luffy's like, Garp, what's wrong with him? But immediately Garp says, that's not Luffy, that's a devil. And he immediately just calls like a full-fledged retreat. The only people who don't retreat are Sengoku, Garp, and the admirals. But then Kuma would speak up, as he ends up using basically just like submarine pain, saying give him a few more seconds, and then he gets pain for like everyone else on the battlefield sneakily. I'm saying that he uses so that no one can tell he's doing it. The pain is so big enough that if Luffy were to attack them, he'd go into it. No one really knows how Luffy's speed works besides Ace, as he just saw it work. Leader Smirk has appeared behind the pain bubble, saying, watch. And threw Garp into it, and the explosion was so massive that it destroyed Bartholomew's barrier. Or not destroyed it, but cracked it by a lot. Like a poke from a 3-year-old would destroy the barrier with how weakened it is. Yeah, I remember coughing up blood, just how much that hurt. When he just actually passes out and Marco has to heal him before he dies. And Garp's on the ground and just standing there, barely alive. Suddenly one of Luffy's eyes will turn white, getting all his color back. All the other eyes are the same. And Luffy walks over to Garp, picking him up, and just begs Marco to heal him. The other eye tries to kill Garp, but Luffy is using his one hand to fight off the other one. And immediately Marco just says, everyone attack Luffy, but leave Garp alone. And they do as Marco says, and eventually one side of Luffy's defeated. So yeah. And Luffy's eye color goes back to normal and everything, and Garp's being healed by Marco, just on Luffy's request. He also can't deny it, because Luffy almost beat an admiral. Not almost, he did beat an admiral, so he can't do that. Well, this with Garp being healed, Luffy throws Garp over to Sengoku, saying, the Marines retreated, and one of the admirals is defeated. Do you really want to continue? Before anyone could say anything, suddenly, Whitebeard's ship is flipped over, and Whitebeard's in the ocean. Then, before Whitebeard knows it, someone lands on top of him with a knife, and he's really stabbed right in the chest. As Whitebeard's just coughing up blood rapidly as he's being stabbed. As this explosion causes a lot of just ice to be destroyed, including the one that brought the ice on Bartholomew's barrier. And suddenly, Whitebeard's whole crew began firing upon just Whitebeard's crew and everything, killing a lot of them. And then Sandron Wolf kind of held only Whitebeard's head above water. Sandron Wolf is barely able to stay afloat at this point, but yeah, we don't know if he has Delphi, I believe. But yeah, if he doesn't, well, he's able to just do this. But eventually, with Whitebeard being killed still because he was caught off guard and he's drowning. And Whitebeard just smirks holding his devil fruit as he jumps on Sandron Wolf's head, and then tries to use a quick attack. But Luffy's using a bit of effort, appeared from Blackbeard hitting him in the chest, knocking him out, then passing out himself. So yeah. And with this, the whole war is kind of just over. So yeah. Well, Blackbeard's crew is just kind of dismissed. And then the Marines are kind of debating, who should become the new Yonko with Whitebeard dead. The war was more or less a draw because Whitebeard died. So yeah, and Shanks didn't even arrive. So yeah. He knew with Luffy there the war's gonna be handled. But yeah, they don't know who should be the new admiral. Well, I mean the new warlord, Luffy or Blackbeard. Then with this, they kind of say, we haven't seen enough from Luffy, so we also haven't seen enough from Blackbeard, but he's the warlord for a short amount of time, and more people know him. So let's see more from Luffy. He's not a Yonko, but his bounty's going to be a lot higher. As they do raise Luffy's bounty to 1.9 billion. And then the bounty for Blackbeard is still the same. So, yeah. His bounty is 2 billion, barely below Blackbeard. So people consider Luffy a 5th Emperor, but he's not there just yet. And his crew had heard about the raise. Also, because of Bartholomew's abilities displayed at this war, along with Bentham and Impel Down. Also, Bartholomew beat Magellan. His bounty is raised to around 400 million. I'll say 400 million. And then, he's already pretty close to 400 million himself, actually. Almost halfway there. A little bit below halfway, but still almost there. His bounty is 500 million, with Bentham being at 380 million. So, yeah. Then, well, it wasn't known that Luffy defeated an admiral as the whole stream kept up. Everyone else there knew it. So, yeah. But they tried to keep that he beat Kizaru under wraps. But Kid and Law had known this happened as Law was watching from a distance. Also, Ace has a giant burn mark, so that's about it. But Ace does end up retiring, so yeah. He does, when Luffy is in a fight Blackbeard, he'll join him. So yeah. But as Luffy is at Lily for the next few years training, Jinbei would also join him. Jinbei offers to teach Luffy Fishman Karate, and Luffy would agree. So, there's some things Luffy won't be able to use, but still, Luffy can benefit from it. Then Margaret was trying to join Luffy, as Luffy and her were on pretty good terms the whole time, so, yeah. But as Luffy's about to leave after 2 years, Margaret is the new crewmate, along with Jinbei. As Jinbei says from crew, Jinbei-san, you should join Luffy. He's a lot stronger than us, plus he's also your student. So Jinbei would join because of his crew making a point. So, yeah. So, yeah. But, so we go on we can go on now to probably just Fishman Island, which is a pretty simple arc, because Luffy went down there for a bit, and he solved it pretty easily before the 2-year time skip, so this arc is honestly just hanging out there for a bit. End up leaving, and, his crew's also shocked at Luffy's new bounty, but, yeah. So Luffy is actually telling his crew, to reach the bounty as much as possible, so he can be considered a Yonko crew. I don't want to be considered a 5th Emperor, I want to be the 5th Emperor. And everyone in his whole crew just agrees with that immediately. So they're kind of doing everything they can to raise their bounties. And Punk Hazard is really just a Straw Hat raising their bounty arc, which Law even acknowledges that. Caesar is not a challenge, just else, I'll help you guys by keeping the gas off of you. So yeah. So with this a few more but the gas isn't getting far enough, and Zoro pretty easily beat Caesar. So yeah. And yeah. So we go on a bit more forward again, now probably the next arc being Dressrosa, which Josephine is actually a bit nervous about, because he saw Luffy beat Kizaru. Josephine was openly expressing fear at fighting Luffy. But Luffy has been turning Law a lot more than usual. The point where Law is picking up Haki on a much larger scale. Oh, Luffy's Haki, I forgot to mention that. I forgot to mention who has Haki right now. Actually. Luffy can use his advanced armament Haki. He already along to advanced observation in the middle of Marineford. So yeah. So Luffy has Haki currently. He uses advanced armament Haki and advanced observation. Kobe would use armament Haki. Kobe would use armament Haki as he was with Zoro. So yeah. Kobe uses armament Haki and observation on pretty good scale. He even uses all of the Rokushiki. Zoro can use advanced observation and normal armament Haki. Luffy taught him observation Haki pretty well, actually. Nami can use observation, so can Vivi. Usopp uses observation only. Sanji would use both forms of Haki, but none are advanced. Same for Gin. Bartholomew would use armor Haki and observation Haki, but no advanced Haki. Vivi can use Haki like Nami, as I said before. Chopper can't use Haki just yet. Bentham can use both forms of Haki, but none are advanced. Same for Robin. Sabo kind of trained her personally during the whole 2 years, so yeah. Dragon even gave her a bit of training as well. Then Wiper can use observation. Frankie can only use armament Haki. they've all undergone some hockey training with Luffy before they're separated. So hockey is something that they kept training for. So yeah. Then Brook can use hockey just yet, but he's on the verge of unlocking observation, and Margaret can use both forms. So yeah, and Jinbei can also use both forms. So yeah, so we go on now, basically just being a pretty simple arc. Like Zoro said on Pika, as Pika was like his full size. Then appeared behind Pika with just 3 swords drawn, saying Onigiri, and Pika just cut to pieces. Like Pika is not strong as Zoro, and Zoro can cut through him like butter. So not using hockey, can cut through him like butter. Like Zoro's bare hand can cut steel in half with a chop. So yeah, Zoro is going to do a lot with just 3 swords. There's no epic moment. Like there's a whole new epic moment between Zoro and Pika. Zoro's like appeared behind him in a building and just saying Onigiri, and Pika fell to pieces. So yeah. And yeah, Zoro also fought against Fujitora, but Fujitora can't really push Zoro underground because Zoro is able to find some way to outmaneuver Fujitora. He has to turn Luffy, who moved beyond time easily now. Like Luffy's base speed at this point, without using flames, was already 100 times light speed. His normal speed using flames, 1,000 times light speed. His full speed using flames, but not his circle strength, is already surpassing time itself. And Luffy did not hold back against its crew at all. Well, he does when it comes to hitting them, but yeah, only when it comes to hitting them, he holds back. Zoro is used to such speed, so he's actually able to outmaneuver Fujitora and almost cut his face. So yeah. With Fujitora being impressed with Zoro, Hishi does call that in. Then Sengoku would arrive because Law was one to fight against Doflamingo, and that fight basically went as well as Luffy versus Doflamingo. Law currently is about as strong as Gear 4th Luffy. Because he's a bit more versatile in terms of some techniques, I'd say he's barely able to beat him. Barely, but he still did it. So yeah. And this arc ends a bit later than before, but only fight that went on a bit longer was Law versus Doflamingo. Luffy got just flicked trouble into oblivion. So, yeah. Other than that, we can go on probably just like post Dressrosa because this arc was not a good one in terms of just only good moment in this arc consists of just Doflamingo and Law and Zoro and Pika. Those are the good moments. So yeah. But yeah. Hold up real quick. Who was I? Yeah, so post Dressrosa is a pretty simple arc too. Sengoku actually want to fight Luffy himself to see how much he grew in the last 2 years. And Luffy and Sengoku do fight. Sengoku went all out to his full potential, and Luffy went all out as well. Luffy even used his circle strength by will and almost sent Sengoku flying across Dressrosa. But Sengoku would just chuckle at how strong Luffy is, saying, if the fight were to go on anymore, he'd die. And no one knows who he was talking about, Luffy or himself. Luffy knows it was directed at both of them. Sengoku does as well. Same for Fujitora. Fujitora was still a bit confused until he asked Sengoku in person, same for Sudru. But yeah. Also, Sengoku did come back pretty beaten up to Marine HQ, and everyone was questioning this until Sengoku revealed he fought Luffy at post Dressrosa and almost lost. But Luffy almost died too. Mostly because Luffy was holding back, not using that black-eyed form. He didn't use it of his own accord, but he's not in control. Like, he can summon forth that black-eyed power, but he won't be moving his body. Someone else will. Someone by the name of Amaterasu. So, yeah. Then we go on, basically, the next part being, like, probably being Zoe, which is pretty much the almost exact same arc. Just, yeah. Then we can go on probably now to, like, just Hulk Island, which also when Luffy would basically see Cracker, he almost erased Cracker off the face of the earth with just looking at him. He stared Cracker like right in the eye and scared him to the core. Cracker still tried to fight him, but Luffy beat every single version of him possible. So Cracker is pretty easily defeated by Luffy in like the span of like 2 minutes. So yeah. And a lot of this arc is honestly just Luffy erasing fights off the face of the earth because no one here is as strong as Luffy is, and no one here can really beat him. So, yeah. So, the only interesting fight is basically Luffy versus Big Mom, which he does still fight Katakuri, but they don't go into the mirror world. They fight for like a minute, and Luffy almost killed him. And Luffy erased all the Mochi on the face of the earth, and then beat Katakuri into the dirt in the span of like a minute. So, Katakuri is not beating Luffy or getting anywhere near him. Luffy needs future sight pretty well, actually. He can see 6 times a normal human. He's probably 10 times by now, because he just grows every few years in sight. Yeah, Katakuri is erased off, just decimated by Luffy. Luffy and Big Mom do fight, but Luffy does the same thing he did to just Kizaru and move faster than time, and nail Big Mom in every part of her body that he could hit. She didn't have time to use Haki or observation. Luffy just used Armament Haki or use Real World to enhance his blows. By the time the fight was over, Big Mom was defeated. And Morgan saw this, and Morgan's being Morgans will not lie. So, yeah. Like Luffy's fallen bounty after being Big Mom, which he did beat also Katakuri as well, and beat Cracker as well, and his crew was insanely strong. Sanji just tore off his own handcuffs with just force, like just raw might, tore them off, and threw them in the air, just letting them blow up, like Cody's whole body in Haki. Which I don't get why people don't do that. Like, are there handcuffs that cancel out your Haki? Like, Ace said to use it for all three types of Haki. Does he don't cancel out Haki as well as double fruits? I don't get it. Alright. Yeah. It's only pretty easy to take from siblings before the wedding even happened. We still wanted to go through with it because he liked Cracker, but not Cracker, I mean, he liked pudding. But so Luffy's money by the end of this arc is around 4.28 billion. So yeah, Big Mom is still pretty high. And he's now considered the Yonko replacing Big Mom. So, yeah. And Sanji's bounty after this, because he escaped from siblings, beat up a lot of people, including his own siblings. His bounty was raised from around 300 million all the way up to now 490 million. And when who went with him was happened to be Kobe and Nami. That was like the only addition was Kobe. Kobe's current bounty went up to around 290 million. So yeah. And they're going basically now to Wano, which is a pretty simple arc as well. So yeah. So Jinbei went up from 400 something million all the way now to 580 million. This arc is still pretty simple, actually. Luffy even called Ace before he got there, and Ace got there before him. So, yeah. And Marco's there as well. Also because Marco wants to train a bit and unlock stronger forms of Haki in Wano itself. And he even found all the other scabbers that he could, that he heard about from Odin. And when he couldn't find was Denjiro, but then they got a few hints that it was like, Kyoshiro. So, yeah. We went to Kyoshiro, kind of able to use Marco, helping find the scabbards. And, basically, Kyoshiro said, he lost to fight someone that he can't find anymore. So he's starting to basically debating his Yakuza until he finds the person that beat him. Which happened to be Marco. So, yeah. And Orochi allowed this, saying, if you find the guy who beat you, make him in charge of your Yakuza. I want him as my right-hand man. And then Kyoshiro said, sure. It was only an excuse for him to kind of tell him, work out what Matsu was. He was like, basically, every Hashira, not Hashira, I almost said Hashira. Every scabbard is here besides Kawamatsu now. So, yeah. But he said, he knows what Kawamatsu is. And leave that up to a certain Bentham. Bentham found one of the guards on break, beat up the guard, went onto his break. And when it came down nighttime, checking out the cells, he basically couldn't use a key to unlock Kawamatsu's cell. And revealed his face, who he was, saying all the scabbards are gathering up. Denjiro told me to find you. Come on. Once smirked as as Bentham is able to get Kawamatsu out of there. Kobe get the gate with like Otama and everything. And everyone outside saw the giant lion was just fed Dongo. So yeah. Then with that we go on to basically just all Scabbard's training until Kaido attacks. Kaido attacks them. Big Mom is with them right now because Big Mom wanted revenge. So yeah. But Luffy just stared down the two of them with his crew behind him. And Luffy just smirked as Ace summoned all his flames, as he did a little favor for Yamato in the meantime. While Bentham was freeing Kawamatsu, Luffy was freeing Yamato. And Ace made me a signal that only the Yamato saw. So they found Yamato, freed her, and yeah. So basically, there's four people who stare down Kaido. Luffy, Ace, Marco, Yamato. They stare down Kaido. These are the four who can use advanced Haki right now, besides Zoro, who can use advanced observation. But yeah. But eventually, as a group, they'll all be fighting Kaido, and the other ones will fight Big Mom, with Law and Kid being able to use their awakenings currently. So yeah, Luffy and the four are fighting Kaido, and they're pushing Kaido to his limit. Luffy doesn't have to go all out right now, since all out would destroy all of the village they're in. So yeah. Where the hell did you come from? I didn't know my dog was even in my room. I recorded for what, an hour 44 minutes for the video? 3 hours in my room? I opened my door twice, and I was in the doorway each time. When did you get in here? We're not going to question it. Alright. Were you in here all morning? Jesus. Right. We can go on probably just to like Luffy. Probably going on to just his group isn't able to beat Kaido, but they push him back enough to the point where he says retreat, and Lil is the same way. Because Long Kid are about as strong as they are in Onigashima, but they still aren't like able to beat her right now. Because their Awakenings are just a test battle. That's about it. Well, it's a test battle for their Awakenings right now. So yeah. So we can go on now a bit more forward to the next part of this arc being Onigashima, or the next act being Onigashima. And they just trained until Onigashima. And kind of shocked that Yamato escaped. With how hard they're all training, and Yamato being strong with her fruit, she's actually able to unlock her awakening along with everyone else here. But because Yamato's a lot cooler of a character than Kaido is, and also the guards in Impel Down, I assume her awakening is a bit cooler than typical Zone from what we've seen. I also assume Kaido's an awakened user as well, so yeah. I think Yamato's out of fruit, but for almost as long as Luffy has. So yeah. But when it came to basically like just Onigashima, they all just snuck in, and Bentham disguised himself as King. I was wondering how he did that. Zoro kind of fought King. Like Big Mom said, King, not Big Mom, and they all know that King's usually stalking like the borders of like into Wano, and Bentham heard about that as disguised as a guard. So Zoro found King, beat up King, Bentham copied his face, then snuck into Onigashima. I was wondering how Zoro beat up King. Zoro didn't get back Shusui. The Skyrays were all gathering as a group, and they're all trying to learn advanced observation and everything else together. So yeah, you see almost everyone on the crew who uses regular hockey and basically casual two forms, like normally Gin, another one that everyone else does. They're all learning how to use advanced versions of hockey. So yeah, all the stars can use Luffy can use now consciously coding and can see in the future by 50 seconds. So he's doing that good. Kobe, he can use both forms of hockey currently, and he learned advanced armament hockey. Not observation though. Zoro learned Riwo on the verge of consciously coding, and learned an already new advanced observation and can see in the future by 20 seconds. Nami can use advanced form of hockey, but she can use armament hockey now. Same for Usopp, he can use armament hockey now. Also advanced observation. Onji can use Riwo and advanced observation. And Gin can use advanced armament hockey and observation. Bartholomew can use advanced observation, but not advanced armament hockey. BB can't use any form of advanced hockey, but she learned armament hockey. Chopper learned armament hockey and observation, as he was on the verge of it already. Bentham just uses advanced armament hockey, just enhances his kicking power. Then Robin just uses advanced observation as well. Not advanced, but she just advanced observation hockey. Wiper would just use both forms of it now. And Brooke uses both forms of it now. And Margaret learned advanced armament hockey. And Jinbei just learned advanced both forms. So, yeah. And Yamato learned advanced both forms as well, learning Honkai coding. So, yeah. I assume she used Conqueror hockey. But yeah, so when it came to Onigashima, the stars are completely just decimating as Kid and Law can now use, they basically smashed their awakenings. And if he hasn't used his awakening, he knows he has it, he just hasn't used it yet. They ask him why he hasn't used it, but he says, with how strong his abilities are right now, imagine what he can do if he's not in full control of his body, using an awakened devil fruit. If he doesn't know what the awakening for this fruit is, if he hasn't read the manga and finished it, the awakening is literally Shinra Banshoman. This is his awakening. It's strong as all hell. You guys heard me say that? Just go to Google and find out how strong Shinra Banshoman is. See, if Kaido stands even a fraction of a chance against Luffy, if he stands a 0.1% chance against Luffy, determine that. Alright, this Luffy already defies time in his base form now. So yeah. Basically, yep, Onigashima raids is just a complete assault. Big Mom has to fight Kid and Law, who are just completely just decimating her, not even using Kid is using a Konkuroki coding, and Law is using extremely advanced Ryuo. So these two the base ones are already pushing Big Mom to her limit. Wait till these are awakenings. This Kid currently about as strong as Big Mom as Luffy is, and then Law is a bit stronger than Luffy is, but Kid has a little more versatility than Law, so Law's being a bit pushed by Kid even, or would be. Basically, Big Mom is fighting two Luffys right now, which is pretty terrifying. But eventually they use their awakenings and beat her pretty easily. Kaido would just fight Luffy, The Real King arrived to fight Zoro again, but Zoro pretty easily cut him down in seconds. And Zoro mastered Enema before Onigashima, so yeah. And Sanji unlocked cybernetics a bit early, as with his body being a lot stronger than usual. His family did go run a few tests on him. Really, he did have some cybernetics in him, but before they could put judge control into him, they want to make him strongest cyborg possible. He's 100%, but Reiju's isn't complete. Sanji isn't either. When they can do that, they put Sanji basically just making the strongest as they can, but then they gave him fire, but they gave him basically just poison immunity, kind of like Reiju has, but also gave him the ability to use lightning, like his brother. So he basically fights Queen, just defeats him easily. So yeah. Then Sanji kind of took a bit of Queen's technology with Double Wiper, who didn't really fight anyone important, and yeah. Frankie beat Sasuke pretty easily. Frankie just used Haki on him. Robin fought Black Maria, and Black Maria was just decimated, so, yeah. Luffy versus Kaido. Luffy asked Kaido if he was a Awakened user. Kaido said yes. Kaido went all out from the start. In the dragon form, everything, had the whole fire thing surrounding him. And was even using homicidal drunk form. But Luffy just told Kaido that he can't live if he lives on Onigashima right now, his awakening may send it flying into the ocean and kill everyone on board, including his own crew. Hell, the shockwave from it may even kill Kaido. So Luffy jumped on the air side as possible. Then, using flames to fly, he went into Shinra Bunchoman. Everyone sees his skylight up bright. And I'll show you what Shinra Bunchoman looks like. This is Shinra Bunchoman. And you can basically see the credits, everything for here. So, yeah. But this is Shinra Bunchoman. And Luffy looks just like that right now. So, Kaido's going to be decimated. So, the ability of Shinra Bunchoman, from what we've seen in canon, the steps of Shinra can probably eradicate a continent, like the steps of Shinra. He can turn his thoughts into reality and also warp it as he turns flames into flowers. He can reverse, stop, and fast forward time on everything, not just himself. And he can turn positive emotion into his own power, and he can turn negative emotion into hope. So yeah. Basically, when it came down to the Beast Pirates, Luffy immediately can turn all their negative emotion into hope to change their lives and fight for the country of Wano, as he made them see the bright side of everything and see the real truth of what Kaido's been doing. Making all of the Beast Pirates turning against everyone, and the ones that didn't change were just killed by the ones that did change. Basically giving Kaido his only allies, being King and Queen. And turned Kaido's hatred for basically him and the Hope of Joy Boy into his own power. He turned Kaido's negative emotion towards him into what was it? Hope. And then turned Kaido's hope into his own power. And Kaido, he's using Kaido's every ounce of negative emotion, turning it into hope, using that hope, turning it into his own power. Kaido's really shocked by this, that using that if he fights using his regular full power, he's gonna be fueling Luffy's full power. And one punch from Luffy almost killed Kaido immediately, knocking him out. But Kaido got back up immediately, as he woke up a second later, trying to use a boil breath on him. But Luffy just tapped the boil breath in time, tapped it, and then just burst into flower petals. The more flower petals, flying them at Kaido, cutting Kaido up severely. Luffy even used a burst of flames that were somehow coded in Haki, as they turned black, then turned red, and then coded in Conqueror's coating as they hit Kaido each and every time, destroying him. But when Luffy drew a circle in the air, covered in flower petals, he poked it, and flower petals burst in flames, and Kaido once, everyone would basically see that Luffy destroyed the walls to Wano, and the water would drain out, making old Wano fall on new Wano, or new Wano fall on old Wano. Luffy immediately saved all of it, combining both forms of Wano into one thing, which immediately shocked Sukiyake as he saved everyone's lives, but still combined both forms of Wano. So yeah. Luffy immediately landed as Kaido was defeated, and Kaido was just wondering how someone is this strong. Luffy disabled his awakening, as he's basically just naked now. We called Kaido a pretty strong opponent, but not strong enough. This went away from Kaido, who was just unconscious, and Big Mom was also defeated. They leave, and everyone's just looking at Luffy like a monster now. Then they all hang out in the new formed Wano Kuni for now, and they even use Pluton. Cranky has some time trying to get Pluton and combine it with their ship if it can be combined as a regular ship. Since you can build a Pluton, it's maybe actual ship, not like a giant turtle like people assume. But we're gonna use my theory for now. A lot of post Wano videos I have running off theories, but yeah. We got Pluton when it was originally, and then turn it into what the Sunny is right now. And they set sail with the new crew consisting of Luffy, Kobe, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Gin, Bartholomew, Vivi, Chopper, Bentham, Robin, Wiper, Frankie, Rook, Margaret, Jinbei, Yamato. That's the new crew. And when they leave, they'll with Wano, and they get all the way over now to the next arc, which I hope would be Vera. It's mentioned in something that Oda put out during his break, so I hope that Vera's next arc. They had a Vera, they hang out there for a bit, find the next poneglyph, if they find all the things they need, actually. The next arc would probably be Elbaf. They chill in Elbaf for a bit. They meet Loki. They meet up with like Hyrodine all over again. There's a little bit of conflict between them and Loki right now over the whole Big Mom thing, but they pretty easily beat Loki. Then the next arc would probably be Lodestar now. But on Lodestar, they find Blackbeard, and now it's a full-out race to the One Piece. The race to One Piece will meanwhile Sabo, who actually gathered Ace and Marco's help, fought the world government with the help of also Dragon. And Sabo's a lot stronger than Cannon, so he's like the man marked by flame. We don't know who the man marked by flame is, but he's still the martyr Sabo. But Ace helps him, and then Ace and Sabo have like an equal reputation. Sabo just uses really strong hockey, opposed to like Ace of Devil Fruit. So yeah. My dog finally came out of hiding under my bed, so I'm gonna pet her. Alright. So with this, we go on now to just do the whole war on Laugh Tale. And while they're here, Luffy, Blackbeard's like, I'm gonna use the Gurgura no Mi mixed in with, the awakening of the Yami Yami no Mi. Luffy's like, yeah, cool. Can any of those make you a literal god that can defy reality itself? You can cause earthquakes, cool. You can grab onto the air, cool. Can he turn an earthquake into a little wave pool? And Luffy immediately went into Shinra and defeated Blackbeard in seconds. Just that easy. This is how strong he is. Here's an awakening. Luffy's like, here's a tsunami that can engulf a whole country. What can you do about it? Luffy stops the tsunami, beat up Blackbeard, beat up his whole crew with stopping time. And then puts time back to normal, the whole crew's defeated, and this is the end of the story. Sabo and Ace, with how much power they have currently, are pretty easily able to fight. The only thing that'd be different is Emu, but Emu probably can't beat Luffy right now, so who cares? Literally, if his brother defeated, sure, Luffy can come in and kill them. Who cares? But this ends the story. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe for another What If. Adios.